council to go back into, to come out of the closed session. And we only talk about the issue that's stated on the agenda. Thank you. Okay, item number 10, public comment. Does anybody in the audience that would like to make a public comment? Mr. J. Garza, good morning or good afternoon. Good morning.
For some reason the microphone is not on.
It might be. There it goes.
Carl, did you say it was on?
Yeah, it is.
It was.
Who's working on it? Right.
We're on now. Yes, Mr. J. Garza.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Martin de la Garza here representing the taxpayers of New Mexico, myself, my family, and the PRC employees. I've been here many times presenting public comment over the last 4 years or more, and the issues at the commission are not getting any better. So I kind of revisited what I have presented before and trying to see what I call this morning the root of all evil at the PRC. The fundamental thing where we are missing and to provide a better service to the public, to the companies that this commission regulates. First of all, the public needs to be informed or aware that putting the blame at all of the commissioners is not fair. The commissioners have to rely on expertise, on other professionals, and especially it's not fair to put the blame on commissioners present from the mistakes done by former commissioners. So, what do we have to do? Who do we have to blame for the issues that are creating and have created too many black eyes at the commission, which affects the members of the public, the ratepayers, the companies that this commission regulates, the employees of the PRC, and their families. I was one of those victims. So the public needs to know that it is okay to judge, but let's look at who is to blame so we can learn and fix the problems that the ratepayers have to face, the taxpayers of New Mexico have to live with, and pay more taxes because we cannot fix the problems at the commission. Problems are not getting any better. I was here a couple of weeks ago, and I tried to give a warning to the commission about, or give an update about a case that is highly important for the commission to be aware of, and it has to do with a case in U.S. federal court, bankruptcy court. In that case, the commission has been, the commission decisions back in 2008 and 2010 are now being highly scrutinized. And it has been found that there were some big issues at that time, some big mistakes. And you look at the commissioners that signed the order, so you start from, okay, the ultimate decision makers signed this document. But what happened really before they signed the document? That is important to know. Who created that mess, that black eye to the commission, that this commission are still dealing with 5 years later? That the company was taken away from his owner because something done wrong. So after careful investigation by the different parties in that case, there is some investigation that is pointing to something being done wrong at this commission. So I was trying to inform the commission about that. In return, I got a slap on the face. They limit my time to present the findings. They limit my time to provide some valuable information that the public needs to know, because their taxpayers' money are being spent. And they were spent 5 years ago in a maybe criminal way. Somebody needs to be blamed for that. That's why the district courts, the Supreme Courts exist. They are a true finding process. We need to find the truth. What happened? So, I met with a couple of commissioners that have been very interested on doing things for the betterment of this commission. Commissioner Hall and Commissioner Valerio Espinosa. They've been highly interested in public, and I applaud their efforts to show that in public, that they want to do things right for the commission because they were elected to do so. All of you were elected to do so. Unfortunately, Lyons, can you join, please? I don't see respectful for you to be behind my back when you are elected as a public official.
Thank you.
I have noticed that many times, and I don't like that. That is highly disrespectful.
No demonstrations, please.
So, and if I go past the 10 minutes, please, let's be done with this. Give me a couple of more minutes. It is highly valuable. I am providing free consulting to this commission. Commissioner Hall, when you were running for commissioner, you hit it right on the money. You hit it right on the money before you became a commissioner. This is from your website. At the present time, this is not being done in the PRC. A majority of past and present commissioners have spent too much time protecting their own interests instead of their public duties. Some of the problems with the commission, elected commissioners, have been self-inflicted. Over the past several years, the commissioners have inadvertently eroded away some of their authority simply by passing certain decisions, making authorities away to their chief of staff. And that is true. And that's what we're facing right now. When we want to go and look at where the root of evil at the PRC exists, we need to look at the details. What exactly was done for the commissioners to finally sign a final order that it may be affecting now ratepayers, company owners, former company owners, and the ratepayers again, and the taxpayers, because now it's in federal court. In federal court, I was subpoenaed 2 nights after, before the deposition. I was subpoenaed. Like 7:30 at night, it's knocking at my door. It's like, wow. It's like, I just lost my socks after opening the door and handing a document. So, 5 years later, I am being subpoenaed about something that this commission did. Let's not call it wrong right now. So, I was subpoenaed. I'm a taxpayer, I'm a citizen of the US. I have the right, and the government has the right to question me. So I attended, I have nothing to hide. Everything went fine. Finally, the federal government gives me the opportunity that this commission didn't give me. Back in 2010, that is, to intervene in a case that I was very familiar with the facts. This commission denied me, the former commission, denied me my rights to intervene in the case and present the facts that I just provided in September the 4th in front of federal court. Because of that, now some of the lawyers representing some of the parties, they said, what if the commission did something wrong? Based on these testimonies being presented by Mr. De La Garza and other experts. So I was trying to give an update to the commission, and I received a slap on the face. Now, the chief of staff, Mr. Vince Martinez, it was a unanimous vote to put him as a chief of staff in September the 8th, 2013. Okay? Now, he has some responsibilities. Some of them are day-to-day operations, overseeing all personnel issues and processes, enforcement of commission policies and procedures, responsible for all property and equipment accountability. Last week there was an issue about the cameras and the video. He said those are there for protection of the employees and the public that comes into the building. Good. everything looks good and dandy. But what about protecting the employees of the PRC, protecting their rights? There is a new law introduced, and a new bill introduced and passed by the state of New Mexico that has to do with the Whistleblower Protection Act. The right of any employee to expose corruption at the place of work. And that is being highly criticized. It is a right given to anybody, including you all. That's for the betterment of the commission. The chief of staff is an exempt employee. He should serve at the pleasure of the commission, meaning that for any reason can be terminated at any time. He's responsible to hire experts, advisory staff, so the interests of the public are protected. That includes professionals from the outside. So the rate cases or any matter in front of the commission gets better examined. So there is an avoidance of mistakes. So there is a prevention. A lot of times, the results now are showing that there was a lack of doing that. Okay? If I was given 10 more minutes, I will give you details on what the issue was. You tell me, I'll be glad to do so. I'm here serving the people of New Mexico, I'm here serving you. Back in July 19, 2013, I met with now Director of General Counsel, Mr. Smith, and former Chief of Staff, Johnny Montoya. Then, after that, Mr. Vince Martinez took over as the Chief of Staff. I presented some ideas, again, free consulting to the commission, and trying to make this thing better, this place better, to protect the rights of everybody, the companies, the PRC employees. As of today, I have not received a response to my letter. July 19, 2013. I don't know what is going on there. The Chief of Staff, if you look at the flow chart, the organizational flow chart, he is supposed to be aware of that, and he's responsible for what is going on with the people below him. Mr. Smith is below him. He has said before that he's his boss. Then why am I not getting a simple response to a simple letter for the betterment of the commission?
Thank you, Mr. Delgado.
Let me please finish with 1 more minute.
I will give you 1 minute, but your 10 minutes has expired, so 1 more minute.
Yes, and if anybody from the public would like to yield their time, it will be better served. Okay, that's democracy, by the way. We are supposed to live in a democracy. You all are supposed to be a democracy. That's why we have 5 elected officials. You guys vote, and a majority wins. Now, that's a big issue. The majority wins. What if the decision was wrong? Then we have to go to court. We have to use taxpayers' money that would be wasted in many times. Okay? Yesterday I was at a hearing. I don't have a lawyer. I was on my own. I'm not going to give details, but that was a sign of wasting time, wasting monies of the PRC. So what if the democracy system is not working? Because 3 out of 5 vote the wrong way. That later on, 5 years from now, we're going to be dealing with the same issue again. So that's a sign that the right decision was not made. So that's important to look at that. It is not just to make a decision. I don't care what Commissioner Espinosa thinks about it. I don't care what the Commissioner Lyons thinks about it. I'm just going to oppose it. Wrong. It's not in the public interest. You were elected to protect the interests of the public. You are being paid by taxpayers' money. Mr. Martinez has been given responsibilities to cover, and along the way I have presented some deficiencies, and it has come one ear and left the other. For the betterment of the commission, I like to provide constructive criticism. That's what I call. I'm not being paid to do so.
Okay. Thank you, Mr.
I'd like to finish this, please.
Mr. De Garza, we gave you 1 minute.
You're gonna see me here every single week if you keep stopping me, Madam Chair.
Thank
I'm
you,
giving him
Mr.
5
De
minutes of
Garza.
my time.
Okay, thank you.
If somebody's giving me 5 minutes of their time, this is a democracy.
We can't do that.
You can do it, across the street they do it. Across the street they do it. This is not a dictatorship, this is a democracy. This is a public office.
Mr. De Garza, thank you very much for your comments.
I don't know why you are so afraid, commissioners, of the truth, of giving an update, of a citizen of New Mexico, a citizen of the US, trying to provide a service. That is a civil responsibility that all of us have,
Thank you, Mr. De
to
Garza.
serve our societies, for the betterment of our families and the country we live in.
Anybody else that would like to make a public comment?
Appreciate your service, sir.
Commissioners, my name is Frank Ortega, and I'm here wearing 3 hats. One hat is ABQ Justice, the other hat is LULAC, and the other hat is the Hispanic Roundtable. And I'm here because of what just happened, what was just said. We're here as a group, we don't get paid. We are different entities. We belong to different organizations. And we're here because we're concerned of what has gone on here at the PRC. We're here to ensure that the good old boy system is gone. And that this commission is working the way it's supposed to, like this gentleman just said, for the public. Not that you own this company, you don't own this company. This company is owned by the public. And therefore, we're going to ensure that the public gets what they're supposed to out of this company. And we're not going away. And we won't go away. And we're, like I said, none of us get paid. We do this because we feel that there's been too much fraud and too much going on in the public. I mean, in the government. The thing is that we got a governor that her advertisement to run for governor is saying that everybody, she doesn't tolerate any wrongdoing by the government. Well, you know what? We're going to back her up on that. And all we want is justice. And anybody that's going out of their way to break the law, we are going to make sure that we get what we want for the public. I therefore am saying, we've already been to 2 meetings. We found some discrepancies that are going on in this commission and the PRC. We will reveal it eventually, and even if we have to go out there on the sidewalk and prove what we're saying. You want publicity, we'll give it to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else that would like to make a public comment? Yes.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
My name is Ray Maestas, and you might recognize me because I'm your purchasing agent. And you know, as part of being a purchasing agent, you see a lot of things that you don't agree with and that you kind of even take home with you and can't stop thinking about it. There was an issue that was touched upon last week regarding the cameras, the surveillance, that I'd like to revisit. I'm here with my predecessor, Ron Anderman, that I'd like to bring up with me. He's
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning. Welcome.
been a funny, awesome, really cool guy, and he's my friend. I just want to reiterate that the cameras do have a track record of being used against staff members, And I think Ron Anderman would be a perfect example, testimonial to how it was used against him in disciplinary and reprimand ways. Maybe you want to elaborate on that?
There were a couple of incidences. One was a few of us employees were sitting around and someone was on the computer and they downloaded a piece of paper that had 4 little sayings on it, or proverbs, or whatever you want to call them. And the last one was, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to get caught. So I thought at the time it was the issue with Jerome Block. So I thought, oh, maybe this would open Jerome Block's eyes to what's going on. So I went upstairs. I stopped off at a couple offices prior to going to Jerome Block's office. But when I got to Jerome Block's office, the door was closed. So instead of taking it back with me and maybe waiting till he was there, I slid it under the door. Okay? Later on, I guess Charlotte came back. Charlotte was Jerome Block's executive assistant. Well, she went down to Johnny Montoya's office, I guess, and showed them this and was supposedly all shook up about it. So they got together, went downstairs where the cameras are, and reviewed, backed all the information up, and saw that it was me that put it under the door. So they called me into the office and reprimanded me and said that I was being irrational. And then there was another incident that happened. It's my mind again now. Oh yeah, there was a meeting going on in here, and I was walking down the hall, and Gotti Schwartz happened to be out in the hall, and I stopped to talk to him. So later on, they called me into the office again, into Johnny Montoya's office, and accused me of fraternizing with the media. And again, they said, well, they went back downstairs and backtracked on the cameras and saw that. So I'm stating that I don't think they were only using the cameras for security purposes. They're also using it for keeping an eye on employees.
Monetary purposes. So I just wanted to bring that up because, you know, like I said, as a purchasing agent, I see a lot of things, and I think that the transparency of this department could be a lot better. And I have a printout of a purchase order that was done back in 2011 showing that we spent $1,971 to relocate the monitors into the chief of staff's office. And my question is, why couldn't they be relocated to GSD, where a neutral entity could keep security footage, or people that don't know us personally, or we just call upon them when we need to get access to that information? Why are they aesthetically placed in somebody's office to kind of keep an eye? And these cameras were purchased from a company called DTS, which specializes in high-range, powerful cameras. I don't know if you want to give testimonial to what you've seen before.
Have any of you gone down to the chief of staff's office and actually looked at them in the cameras?
I have. Ron?
I've seen them, and that's about it.
The purpose of the public comment is for you to talk, not to ask the commissioners
Oh,
questions.
sorry, okay. Well, the reason I was asking that is because these cameras are very powerful. They're almost as powerful as what over at the roundhouse. You can zoom in to the ski base.
Changed in my car. And I don't know if you guys would want a copy of this information just for...
I would like a copy, and I'd also like to know if there's any other discrepancies that you've recognized, not only related to the cameras, but to you've come forth and put yourself here, and I hope you don't get retaliated against in the future.
That's one of the consequences.
But I don't think you will. But I also want to know if there's any other discrepancies that you've recognized as an employee as it relates to procurement requests, contracts, favoritism towards others. I know I've ordered supplies and it takes about a month to get them. Do you have any other comments?
I have recognized that some people do get, I don't know if you would want to call it preferential treatment or whatever, but there are some individuals who put in a request for something and they don't even have to wait long. Sometimes I'm asked to go in a state vehicle to the store with the P card and purchase it on the spot. Others get a signature on, turnaround signature on documentation, and the purchase order is cut the same day or the next day, and others it stays on somebody else's desk.
And is it preferential amongst employees or commissioners?
I would say both, but it's probably aimed more towards commissioners, and I am not the only one in my section that's noticed that either. So.
Is there anything else you've noticed besides that that you'd like to review?
You know, I'm just here because I want to bring sanity and compassion back to this place, and I really, really like working here. And I think we have that motto, working for you, and I think we need to bring meaning back into it. Thank you.
Thank you for stepping forth, and thank you to Ron Anderman. I'm not sure if you're done, but I know you from a past life as a poll worker when I was the county clerk, and you have a very good, credible background, and you have a good work ethic, so I admire you for both of you stepping up. You're good employees, and I didn't get to work with you here, but thank you for standing up and doing this. It's amazing. I didn't expect it.
No problem.
Madam Chair?
Oh, good.
Yes, Commissioner Montoya?
It takes a lot for you guys to come up here and do it as an employee. I was a government employee for a long time. And I commend you for coming up and talking to us about it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I'd like to echo that same thing. It takes a lot of guts for you two guys to sit up here and do this, and I certainly appreciate it, and I know the public does and whatever. And you know, nobody has a problem with the cameras for what they were intended for. It was to protect people in their offices and things like that. But and some other things are going on around here. Just like you said, that was preferential treatment. When somebody hit me in the intersection right over here in my car, it took me 6 weeks to get my car fixed. Somebody hit the pickup out here in the parking lot, it took 2 days. But that wasn't my pickup. So anyway, there's things like that goes on all the time, and I appreciate you guys coming forward and saying what you do. Thank you very much.
And I would encourage all employees to do the same.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you.
Anybody else that would like to make a public comment?
Hi there.
Hi.
Sit down or
Yes, yes.
how it works. My name is Diana Vargas and I'm from Albuquerque, Nuevo Mexico. And I am representing Burke Media. I am a writer for them, and I'm also an international photographer. At least my work has been featured as such. I also represent October 22nd National Coalition to End Police Violence and the Criminalization of a Generation, and I am a member of the ABQ Justice. And I brought the Constitution with me. I know I wasn't supposed to bring it because public building and all, but I brought the Constitution, and on it it says, "We the people." And I grew up believing in this, we the people, for the people, by the people, and it means something to me. And I intend to defend it, because if something isn't worth dying for, it ain't worth having. And I don't have much, but what I do have is my freedom. And I intend to secure it any way possible. And so commending these two employees coming up and exposing more corruption within our government buildings is courageous. I hope it's not as courageous as Carlos Villanueva, who was the whistleblower for CABQ, who the governor came out publicly and said, "Kudos to you," and then fired him. But I'll tell you what Carlos Villanueva has. He has the backing of all people in Albuquerque in droves. And I'd like to extend that same courtesy to these two gentlemen that were very courageous, that if they are retaliated against here with the PRC or any commissioner or any public official, that they have the backing of all of the groups that I have mentioned, to include a voice on burquemedia.com, which is for the people, by the people. We're funded by nobody, therefore we owe nobody anything. And we will back him in demonstration and any way they need our assistance, because that's what we should do as people. The first speaker mentioned that that we could play the the blame game, and we could, and a lot of people are to blame. But but equally I am to blame. Equally we as people are to blame, because we don't participate enough in our public forums. We don't show up to work, we don't sit at our chair. Instead, this man right here, Commissioner Lyons, last meeting, which was a joke by the way, but I'd like to thank you for that, because you actually made CABQ City Council look like a legitimate board. Like I thought we were big leagues, but we're in the minors. Yeah. And so as a result, we have teams now working on the PRC. We're filing for public info requests. And basically at the end of the day, we want to know why you're breaking down a lot of people, breaking down the everyday people who we the people, for the people, by the people. Your right to govern, your right to rule is the consent of me, is the consent of the people of New Mexico, and I don't consent. I don't consent to my taxpayer money being wasted. I don't consent to poverty. I do not consent to illegitimate and corrupt business taking place in New Mexico and in the PRC. I am an American citizen. I was born here. I was born free, and I do not consent.
Madam Chair, I understand the audio is out once again.
It's
Hold
always
on,
out.
let's stop and we'll get it fixed before we go on any further. Make sure it's up.
This happens every time.
It does. I've been watching from home.
What is that, Carl?
I have my recorder on.
The audio for the public is not on, and nor for the employees is on, but I'm glad you have your own. Thank you.
Okay.
Hold on, Madam Chair, if we can hold on till we get it
Okay.
fixed, so there's no question about that.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
to inform the public, even though the audio might go off on the cameras, it's still being recorded by Carl, so it'll be on tape for anybody, and it'll be part of the minutes.
Thank you. And speaking of transparency, it seems like the transparency here is the transparency of the Albuquerque City Mayor Berry, Richard Berry, so transparent you can't even see it. That's what we call our mayor. In fact, he is now on over 10,000 little milk containers that we have distributed nationwide, actually, to include Ferguson, Missouri, which we have just come back to. And so, in the spirit of democracy, in the spirit of people, and in the spirit of the promise, and because I am not allowed, as per Madam Commissioner Aguilar, that I cannot ask any questions, I will just pose a question. I don't expect you to answer since I am not allowed to ask the question. I want to know if you support misuse of government funding, the people's money. I want to know if you support lying and corruption. I want to know if you support lying and bullying and racism and sexism. I will tell you that when I walked into this room, I'll have to apologize for this as well. I took seat here. Now I will tell you that that paper right there that says reserved for staff is located, and it appears that it is the whole row. I think we can honestly make that assumption. This paper here was sitting there. I made the assumption that it was that chair only, and so I took a seat here. And this man here, whoever his name is, he stared at me, he tried to intimidate me, and I have a public and official and legitimate right to be in this business. I've been in this building. And I asked him, well, he told me that it was reserved for staff. And when I said, well, I didn't know, and I tried to like explain, but then the meeting was going on, so I just sort of stopped. Another gentleman sat right there, and I leaned over and I told him, I think I'm in the wrong seat. And I offered my apology. He said, no, it's fine, go ahead and stay. Very cordial and inviting. However, this man here called me a bitch. And that is sexist and that is racism, and I do not appreciate it, and I do not succumb to pressure or threats, and I receive both in this building, and it is a public building, one that my money goes towards. And I want to know if the people of Albuquerque, if the people of New Mexico pay for that or appreciate that. Maybe that's why we don't have enough citizens, American free people sitting in our seats, because of the intimidation of perhaps lions would like to stand behind there. Like this, like a cowboy. That's not inviting. I am free, and I have a legitimate right to be here. And we will continue to come here until this is resolved, and we will expose it in any way. We have an audience of over 10,000 people and over 8 different forums. So money wasted.
Okay, you have about 1 minute left.
Okay, so in the spirit of democracy, I would just ask that every person, if you can actually hear me, flood your seats, flood your council, flood every government building, and occupy, and by occupy, I mean the place you were born, occupy that space. Because at the end of the day, we the people, for the people, by the people. We aim to take back our city.
Madam Chair, thank you for being here. I want to let you know that your audio was not heard to the public or the employees here, and that's what these two IT people are trying to do. What I recognize from your video from last week that I got via email was that the same identical thing happened, and this is probably the 5th or 6th time it occurs during public comment. Also, what I did recognize too is the machine turns off, the computer turns off. Same identical noise that was on your video. And so I'm assuming that last week you said that it was not done intentional, and by any means this couldn't happen coincidentally, but yet it's happened again coincidentally. Your comments were not heard. So, you know, we have a new upgraded system apparently as of yesterday, and so it's failed again in the exact same time and manner that the public comment is required or given their time. So I just wanted you to know that you were not heard, so people need to get copies. They're going to have to rely on your phone or whatever you have going on there, your recording.
And I'd also like to state for the record that last week the public was told that by fixing the bandwidth it would be corrected and that this problem would not be anymore. Apparently that is not so either.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, let me say, young lady, that I, as a commissioner, do not condone what went on. If one of our employees said that to you, I, as a commissioner, do not condone that. I don't believe any other commissioners do either.
Thank you, sir.
So we will look into that.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate
and
that.
Madam Chair, I want to state for the record, I as well don't condone that either.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam Commissioner.
And as you know by my public comments, I do not condone any behaviors that go on amongst all employees that are anti-bullying. And I am totally against bullying, and I know that we don't tolerate it in the schools. We shouldn't tolerate it in the workplace. So again, I commend you all and the employees that stepped up today.
Thank you, Madam Commissioner. Madam Commissioner?
Thank you. Anyone else that would like to make a public comment?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Nora Tachias Anaya. I just wanted to ask Madam President, Commissioners, is it an ordinance that I could not give Mr. Martin de la Garza my 10 minutes? Is it an ordinance? May I ask you that? Or may I put
Yes,
that
we
before
have
you?
a policy. We're giving the public 10 minutes.
I just want to, for the record, say that I would have given him my 10 minutes.
Madam Chair, if I
Gladly.
may, I think the commission allows each individual 10 minutes. That 10 minutes cannot be passed on to anybody else. If you use all your 10 minutes, fine. If you only use 5 of it, that doesn't give somebody else the right to use your time. But each individual is allowed 10 minutes.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your candor. I myself am a firm believer of transparency. With all due respect, and there's another question that I will put before you. Is there a reason why open meeting is not publicized? Is it publicized on maybe .gov channel, NewMexico.gov? That's a question you don't have to answer, but that would be preferable. Also, I did want to allow you to know or give you the heads up that this meeting is being live streamed. So my friend Dinah Vargas has been able to get it recorded for the record. The actual fact of the matter is if it's not published, which I believe it would be beneficial for everyone concerned, for the working class, who may become aware of the inner works of our government, especially since it affects their life and livelihood, and they are taxpayers. And as we all get up here and say, I pledge allegiance to the flag, there's a certain word at the end, certain phrase at the end, where it actually says, with liberty and justice for all. Justice is the key word. I want you to know this. I am from Albuquerque, ABQ Justice, and I also am a member of October 22nd, National Day of Protest Against Police Brutality. I myself, if I can share with you, have been affected by the brutality of the police. So at this point in time, I do want to tell you that I may be a little bit disoriented and a little bit feeling nervous at this point in time, but I can tell you I will be here each and every time you need me to stand for justice, because I believe in it strongly. The fact of the matter is that I have only been here twice, and I have seen things that I wished I wouldn't have. And I generally look down upon anyone getting scrutinized or getting retaliated against. I had been told years ago, Nora, if you really want to know where to go to find the truth, follow the money trail. And I believe I'm here. And please understand that I will be back to either protest, maybe not in here, I will respect that. But if I have to march and walk outside the building, and march outside the building, I will. The gentleman that I wanted to give my time to had documents. He had documentation that I believe was beneficial to the good of what we are looking for. He was kindly donating his time and his expertise, speaking very eloquently, I must add, at no charge. Or was he charging? There's intelligence out here that are very much wanting to share. And if you don't pick up on it and take it for what it's worth, the value of free speech, and I believe we'll be here quite often. This seems like typical politics to me. There was a time when I was very ignorant and blissful. I have learned more in the last 5 years than I ever learned in school, in the barrio. And I'm going to tell you, honestly and truly, if you do decide to become interested in having that love and brotherhood like I'm looking for, then we will also advertise that. We will put that in live stream. We will be the first to commend you for your good works. In my professional opinion, the gentleman that has offered his expertise needs to be given respect. And he needs to be given a proclamation of thank yous. And even if, in my opinion, even a plaque, because he has quite a few documentations that would be perfect for you to see where it can be critiqued. I thank you very much for your time, and I really appreciate the 10 minutes. Without being rude or obnoxious, which I try not to be, but it's not easy when you're dealing with any kind of wrongdoings. But I give you my utmost respect for trying to correct this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for traveling all the way from Albuquerque, and I appreciate you all being here.
Thank you very
and voicing your concerns. I couldn't agree with you more. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to make a comment?
Commissioners, I'm Mike Gomez from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and want to let you know that we're here.
Could you state your name and came from?
Mike Gomez, GeoMZ, MIK. Our groups has been really starting to pay attention to government officials. We have contacts with the press. We can get a hold of the national press. And I just wanted you to know that you are going to be watched. And we will report on you. So you're not going to be hidden to the public anymore, because see, that's what it seems like government wants to do. The stupefaction of America. All right? So nobody cares. Like elected officials who in their previous elected jobs did wrong injustice to the public, but yet they still get elected again to even a higher position, because people out there aren't educated. They're not given the thought, because, you know, we're all in our own worlds, our own families, our own situations. And that's what we're going to do. That's what we've been doing now for years. We are going to put out the facts to the public. We're going to make sure that injustices are seen. It will be up to the public to say, well, I care or I don't. But at least we're going to give them a chance to see it.
Yes, sir.
And to make their decisions. No more hiding anymore. All right? We're going to find out. We have people who don't want to be heard or don't want to be seen, but yet they work in these situations. They're here and they get fed up. And they tell us anonymously about things going on. And then people who aren't afraid to tell their name, to spell their name, we will put it in front of the public and let them judge. And let all of you officials, commissioners, governors, congressmen, ex-land commissioners, wherever he is, I guess he's not here, that you are going to be under the spotlight. Every single one of you, elected or appointed positions. So just remember, you know, you guys who've been elected, I know, you're laughing, right? You think it's funny, but it's not, because you got away with it. I know, you're sitting up there at a $90,000 a year job after you were, you know, it's so disgusting to me, because the public needs to care. And we're going to do our best to fight all odds to change this culture of corruption in this state of New Mexico. So eventually people are going to get tired. They're going to get beat down so much that they're going to start to look up and care. The people who think their votes don't count, we're going to assure them that they do. So just wanted to let you folks know that.
Madam Chair, Mr. Gomez, I just wanted to say one thing. Just last week, the Chief of Staff told me that I called the media for everything. The media has relied on me for answers for even when I was clerk. I just wanted to set the record straight, Mr. Gomez, because you're profound in your words, that I didn't organize this group to be here. You came here on your own, and I'm happy that you did. I'm glad that you're here. How you even knew what was going on here is beyond me. I don't know how.
That's what I'm saying. We have ways now. So you folks has got to be aware that we are watching you.
And I'm glad you are holding us accountable. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to make a public comment?
Madam Chair, I'd just like to tell you that last week I was not given the opportunity to participate over the phone by Mr. Martinez. He said that I didn't have a right to provide public comment over the phone.
If there's there's no one else?
I would like to, just for a minute, I won't take
Oh,
the full
sure,
10 minutes,
okay.
it's just a couple of minutes. I just would like to speak about some of the technological issues perhaps, and tell you what we were able to accomplish.
Could you
with them.
identify yourself?
My name is Steve Kramer, I'm with Albuquerque Justice from Albuquerque, and it's Kramer. And so I just would like you all to know that I took off of work to be here this morning, and obviously I'm going to have a late day today, but I did so because I've tried to watch these broadcasts for many months now to get caught up to speed with what's going on, and it's not productive at best, and that's being sort of kind because things get cut up and then you're just watching these little segments and you're kind of clueless as to what's happening. So, and I understand that technology is what it is and things don't work sometimes and sometimes they do, but I do understand that I don't have a lot of resources, and I was able to live stream this whole meeting today, like going out live. I recognize I don't have to rely on the Ethernet and the wired situation here, but what I'm saying, I mean, I can look at this equipment. What I'm saying is if you guys want it to work, it will work. This is 2014, it's not the 90s. And that's my own attitude, and perhaps I could be wrong, but it sure seems like whenever anybody wants something to actually work, it works. I mean, I used to have satellite internet in '98, and it was pretty reliable. I can drive down the road and like make magical things happen. So I just want to mention that, mention why I'm here. I'm here because I can't see these meetings, and so I have to take off and drive up here and be here. And not everyone can do that, and it's not fair to the people that don't have resources. So I would suggest that we work these issues out and get them done, and I don't know if it's a procurement issue or what it is exactly, but it's not that hard. There's a lot of technology available, and it's relatively inexpensive. That's all I have to say. Thank you. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, and I don't even know what the deal with that is, but I saw that last week, and that's one of the main reasons I came. And I mean, when the computer makes that noise, we know it's a problem. We don't need to wait for someone to send you a message saying it's a problem. We know it just went down, because we all know what the noise is. So that's
I've been
it.
asking for an upgrade for 19 months, and it hasn't happened.
Well, if we can, I mean, I saw the procurement sheet. If we can spend almost $2,000 moving monitors, I think that we could get a system that would function and work, because that's into pretty, techie equipment at that point.
We have residents in Taos County and with Kit Carson that have broadband or the width that they were trying to say was the problem, yet that's not the case. So there's many people all over from Dallas, Taos, everywhere that are trying to watch like yourself.
Yes, and I mean, if you're limited on bandwidth, that's obviously your guys' arena. I don't really think that that's it. I don't know if they go wireless, like shoot just that one system out wirelessly, and you don't have to worry about your bandwidth locally. So, and I'm not a tech expert, but it seems to be.
My question would be, is it the system or is it the operators?
Sir, that's my suggestion, and I don't know. I can't answer.
Well, I don't know either, but it seems like sometimes it's advantageous for the sound to go off and whatever. But and I don't know whether if somebody's doing something or it's just the system's no good. I don't know which it is. I'm not an IT person, so I don't really know.
Yes.
Thank you.
A lot of times, I'm not sure, but heat can cause those problems, like this thing going on and off like this. However, that was my point. If people here are sincere about fixing it and broadcasting this meeting, that will get done. And if they're not sincere about it, then we're going to keep hearing that reboot. And that's my attitude about it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Anyone else?
Sorry.
Item number 11, communications with General Counsel, Michael Smith.
Madam Chair, Commissioners, just briefly, I know it was raised to me by one of the attendees, I believe Ms. Vargas, that the notice of open meeting was not posted on our website or at the offices and before the meeting, and I did have someone check on that, and it is on the website, and it is posted outside the records division. I just wanted to clarify that. That's it.
Commissioner Montoya.
Madam Chair, I think someone
I was
putting up their hand.
I was just wondering when that was verified and when it was up, because we had looked yesterday and it was very difficult to find it. We actually had to make a phone call.
It actually wasn't in the appropriate location where all the other meetings are. You had to sort of.
It's buried in that side.
Buried.
It may be there, but it's buried.
It might be there, but it's not transparent enough to find it under where it says meetings.
Where it should be? Is that where all of them are?
I believe so. I was in here during the meeting, so I did not have a chance to go out and look and see if things have been posted on top of it since then. I do know that our protocol is follows the Open Meeting Act, and that we send out notice to news agencies that we post it on our website, and we do post it within.
Do you still do that?
Yes.
So Jim would know where to put it, right?
Yes, he gets notice from them right away on the Thursday or Friday before.
Madam Chair, if I may, I don't believe
I
it.
have the floor.
I'm sorry, please.
So I'll invite anyone who does see that it's not there, if they want to call next time, I'd be happy to take a look at that. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioner Hall?
I just want to say, Madam Chair, that I don't believe anyone here in the PRC is trying to hide our meetings. I believe they're posted wherever they need to be, and they're on the website, and we certainly are not trying to shut anybody out. So if there's a problem, please let our chief staff know, and we'll get it fixed, because we have the open meetings and we intend for them to be open. Thank you.
On that note, who put those signs up? Staff only?
Madam Chair, I have no knowledge of that. I know they've been there for a while.
They've been there as long as I've been here.
Okay, let's remove those. I don't recall discussing putting signs up in the open meetings. Communications with Chief of Staff Vince Martinez.
Madam Chair, the Legislative Finance Committee would like us to present on the 31st of October at 11 o'clock here in Santa Fe. That date meets everybody's 31 October. It was originally set for November 18th, but they're trying to accommodate another agency schedule and seeing if it would work for us.
You didn't mention the time.
11 o'clock.
October 31st.
31st.
And that's all I have, Madam Chair.
Okay. Communication with commissioners. None? Is there?
Motion to adjourn.
There's a motion to adjourn and a second by Commissioner Montoya. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Thank you. Thank you.